Hello and welcome. This is Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Fatima Umarbuba. Good to have you join us. President Muhammadu Buhari has vowed to ensure that all those responsible directly or indirectly for the latest violence in Kaduna and other parts of the country are fished out and dealt with decisively. The president stated this while addressing traditional rulers, religious and political leaders as well as other stakeholders in Kaduna during a condolence visit. While demanding an end to the wanton killings, President Buhari also read the Riot Act to the law enforcement agencies, especially the Nigerian police, warning that laxity will no longer be condoned.
The federal security agencies will hunt and prosecute all those who sponsor these acts of violence. The federal government will take strongest measures possible to punish perpetrators of these crimes. If in the past they got away scot-free, we shall now hold everyone to account for these latest killings. You who are living with the people bear the responsibility to yourself and to God for the leadership of the community you are heading. You can't be too clever. You can't explain it off to God that you know those who are killing people or who are planning to cause havoc and protect them from the law getting at them. Nigerian police are in the front line of securing communities. The judiciary will just sit there. Unless investigations are credible, there is nothing they can do. From now onwards, the Nigerian police, you better watch it. I'm going to watch you closer.
Our communities should reject and marginalize the few criminal elements that indulge in violence. Let there be a resolve to deny criminals any hiding place. Let no criminal be allowed to find succor in tribe or faith.
Success is by choice, but one which can only be achieved through the demonstration of high sense of moral values. So says Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, as he calls on Nigerians to be shining role models to upcoming young people to realize a country of their dreams. This was at a nation-building workshop in Abuja, organized by the Apostles in Marketplace, a network of Christian leaders. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
When the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do?
It is another moment of reflection on the state of the society and indeed the nation, and a wake-up call on those who genuinely love their country to come out to play their role, first by modeling their lives as examples for others and making sacrifices for a better country they truly dream of.
It is the righteous that is commanded, go and disciple the nations. In other words, everything that is wrong is awaiting the revealing of the sons of God, is awaiting the righteous to do something. Everything that is wrong, everything that's wrong with our society is waiting, just waiting for the righteous to take action.
It is a night of great emotions as some Nigerians who on their part are determined to make impact on the society by giving helping hands to the less privileged, tell inspiring stories on the sacrifices they are making. Such efforts are being given recognition by organizers of this annual nation-building workshop and presented with Make an Impact Award. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says there are many more Nigerians doing incredible things as he reflects on the state of the nation in his keynote address titled Building the Nigeria of Our Dreams. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment Okechukwu Enelama says everyone can be a change agent.
You and I must accept responsibility individually to become the person God can use. Ask yourself, what will it take for me to become a person God can depend on as we seek solutions to our problems?
One of the biggest lessons we've learned is that only transformed people can truly transform a society.
The Apostles in the Marketplace Network was established in 2003 with the objective to develop transformed individuals who can facilitate societal transformation at all levels and in all spheres of society. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
And the prospects for a credible election in 2019 in Nigeria are high. The Joint Committee, United Nations, African Union and ECOWAS gave this in-depth on elections during a visit to INEC in Abuja. Mio Ogidi reports.
The strategic position of Nigeria always attracts global attention on critical national issues, and the 2019 election is another crux of the matter in global affairs, with Nigeria in the center stage. In this respect, global, regional and sub-regional bodies are leaving nothing to chance in ensuring credible polls for Nigeria. As for some time now, a joint committee of the United Nations, African Union and ECOWAS has been interacting with security chiefs, the executive and other interest groups on election matters. And the outcomes indicate that Nigeria is on the move to record another success, yet in a democratic transition. This is indicative of the fact that a government is all out to attain this feat again with dogged commitment.
And we had the honor and the privilege yesterday to be received by His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, assured us of his determination as chairman of ECOWAS and of course President of the Federal Republic to do all within his powers to ensure that credible, transparent, free and fair elections are conducted in issue-based campaign. And as executive, we can be assured, international community can be assured that they will not be found wanting.
What of the electoral umpire itself, the Independent National Electoral Commission?
INEC is working very closely with political parties to open the space for the inclusion of young people to participate in the election.
More consultations for the realization of this are still ongoing. Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
In the meantime, Jigawa State Government and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, are to collaborate in the establishment of Drug Addicts Rehabilitation Center to mitigate the negative effect of drug abuse in the state. This was the thrust of discussions at a stakeholders meeting against the menace in Dutse, the state capital. Awal Mohammed Kazauri reports.
Jigawa State is one of the states in northwest part of the country battling to end the high rate of drug abuse, with only recently the NDLEA confiscated and destroyed more than 6.21 tons of counterfeit and illicit drugs. To consolidate on this war against the drug abuse, the National Coordinator of Drug Agency Master Plan, Mrs. Ngozi Ojiafo, held stakeholders meeting with the Jigawa State Drug Abuse and Control Committee. They exchanged ideas on how to control the menace and rehabilitate victims.
People of the states at least benefits, even if 10 lives are saved each week, or 10, 20 each month, is still better than nothing. But the progress report has shown that you've all gone extra mile to touch the lives of your people.
The state deputy governor And the Emir of Dutse also hosted the NDLEA officials calling for state of emergency being declared on the issue of drug abuse in Nigeria. From Dutse, Awal Muhammad Kazaure, NTA News.
And away from that now, the federal government's effort towards reviewing the country's population policy has been described as the right thing to do. While on NTA's flagship program, Good Morning Nigeria, experts stress that requisite planning is needed to sustain socio-economic development as well as the antidote to Nigeria's population explosion. Garba Muhammad Nata'ala reports.
As a national problem, that is not just the responsibility of the federal government, but the responsibility of every Nigerian. And working as a team, then we can be able to sit down and fashion enduring strategies for us to go back.
Several issues were also raised, including access to family planning facilities, reducing infant mortality rate, providing infrastructure, food, among other issues, as some of the concerns of economic development and well-being to support Nigeria's growing population.
We need to invest to reduce infant and maternal mortality. Another issue to address this issue is to invest also in education. We need to, that is human capital.
The reality is that our economic growth, our resources, including technology and all other things, are not growing at that pace at which our population is growing.
They also called for a review of the country's population policy, adding that policy of this nature has been lacking at all government levels.
Important thing that we need to do is to be able to develop a very coherent, homegrown communication strategy that utilizes our cultural peculiarities to drive the message of the danger associated with abandoned parental responsibility.
The problem in terms of policy gap is at the state level, and that's why all our advocacy are going to now.
They unanimously agreed that proper mass awareness at the grassroots to cultivate smaller families is ideal. They also said the concept of family planning has deep religious and cultural implications that could hinder effort to control population. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Nata'ala, NTA News.
Thank you, Garba. And the Center of Excellence Lagos is our first stop on Nationwide. And Michael is standing by. Michael, it's over to you.
Thank you, Fatima, and welcome to Lagos. The development of the blue economy in the Gulf of Guinea region will depend on sustainable management of marine lives and other resources in the ocean. Experts from member states of the region are at a two-day seminar in Lagos discussing how to harness these resources for the development of the region. Paul Mukago tells us more.
Nigeria and other countries in the region established a commission to protect these interests, ranging from the immense hydrocarbon resources to its strategic position on the sea route. It is within this context that these experts are analyzing the wealth in these waters and how the blue economy can evolve. Executive Secretary of the Gulf of Guinea Commission and Nigeria's Minister of State, Foreign Affairs, who was represented, urged them to discuss how this famous potential can become reality.
We want to see what the blue economy can contribute in ensuring that our member states, and in fact, not just our member states, the states in West and Central Africa have food security.
We shall all be enriched in our knowledge of the challenges in our maritime sector and the development of the blue economy.
2 papers on perspectives on the blue economy and positioning the Gulf of Guinea fishery resources for food security stress intense research and more collaboration towards the emerging economy.
There has to be a policy to give direction. And then from that policy, a blue economy bill can be brought out.
Well-planned and coordinated efforts from stock assessment through exploitation and management of the fish resources is the sure route of fisheries enhancing the inherent benefits of blue economy.
Nigeria, Angola, Gabon, Congo, Cameroon, DR Congo, Equatorial Guinea, as well as Sao Tome and Principe are the member states of the region. In Lagos, Paul Omukagu, NTA News.
Nigerian artists have been urged to embrace professionalism and propagate works that promote the country's cultural values and unity. This was the message of the U.S. Consul General at the 2018 Lagos Photo Festival. Elizabeth Thomori reports that the theme of this year's festival was Time Has Gone.
The Lagos Photo Festival is the first international art festival of photography in Nigeria, designed to use art in public spaces as a medium for societal awareness. The photo festival provided a platform for upcoming and international photographers and visual artists to document their stories and events. Of utmost interest this year at the photo festival was the Niger Gem, a traveling exhibition. The idea was conceived by Ambassador W.S. Symington, who has traveled the 36 states of the Federation. The initiative afforded Nigerian photographers the opportunity to express their views on the various landmarks in Nigeria through their lenses.
Nigeria and the United States share a lot in common in terms of our appreciation for music and the arts. And by sharing those commonalities, we can build stronger bonds.
The U.S. Consul General, who was represented at the festival, in his message stated that discovering the beauty of Nigeria through contemporary photography will no doubt strengthen diplomatic ties between the countries through exchange of ideas and cultures.
That human capital should also be invested in, should be highlighted, should be shared with the rest of the world.
The key thing for us is to make sure that the work relates to the theme, and our theme always relates to the continent. And so it doesn't matter where you're from.
They gave me the opportunity to try a different medium than writing.
More than 25 photographers and visual artists showcased their works at the festival. In Lagos, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
That's a contribution from Lagos. Back to Fatima in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Michael. And it's now time for us to go on a break. We'll be back with more reports after that. Please stay with us.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
On Tuesday Live this week, our focus is on the social intervention program of the federal government. Special advisor to the president on social intervention, Haja Mariam Uwais, will join other guests to discuss the impact of this program on the downtrodden. Tuesday Live at 10:30 p.m. every Tuesday promises to be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
This is my first experience riding this train. I've heard about it so much all around the city.
Actually, I'm surprised that such a development is coming to us.
I was impressed, so neat. And actually, you can compare with any type of train, all over the world.
I could not imagine that I'll be going from Edo straight to the airport by train.
And the environment is so clean, and the ACs are cool.
I want to commend federal government for the initiative to provide these train services.
And I wish to laud the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari in seeing that this project is a reality.
Please get ready to alight on the right side of the train. Thank you.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Good to know you're still with us. Now, 400 displaced households benefit from Victim Support Fund in Maiduguri. Naomi is our guide with reports from that axis. Naomi, it's good to see you, and over to you.
To Fatima and welcome to Maiduguri. The Independent National Electoral Commission has urged Borno State government and traditional institutions to assist in sensitizing registered voters to come forward and collect their PVCs as the 2019 general elections approach. Borno State Resident Electoral Commissioner Muhammad Magaji Ibrahim stated this during a visit to Government House, Maiduguri. John Jessini reports.
Welcoming Borno State Resident Electoral Commissioners to Government House, Maiduguri, Governor Kashim Shettima expressed delight with INEC for creating an enabling environment for citizens to exercise their franchise without fear or favor.
I will give whatever support that is feasible within the ambience of the law to support the Independent National Electoral Commission towards discharging her obligations to the Nigerian people.
The State Resident Electoral Commissioner Mohammed Magaji Ibrahim appreciated the state government for its support to INEC office in the state, especially in areas of publicity through the state media output, and further acknowledged the roles of traditional institutions on mobilizing the electorate on activities of INEC. The REC said the 2019 general election is fast approaching with series of activities such as collection of PVCs, drawing wider publicity and mobilization to convince voters to collect their PVCs to elect candidates of their choice. He said out of the 178,000 voters registered in 2018, only about 80,047 voters collected PVCs, with over 90,000 PVCs uncollected, adding that INEC in the state has received the 100,000 new PVCs and 200,000 more expected. The state rep mentioned that sensitization of 400,000 registered voters to collect them is not an easy task, but with the support of the state government and traditional institutions, the task can be accomplished. In Maiduguri, John Jessini, NTA News.
One of the turning points in the post-insurgency recovery in Borno State is the revival of primary education, the foundation of well-being of all human societies that was destroyed by the Boko Haram insurgents. In addition to reducing the deficits in school infrastructure, the Presidential Committee on the Northeast Initiative, in conjunction with the University of Maiduguri, have organized training on safety, security, capacity building, and trauma counseling. Yagum Subukar reports.
This is the second batch of UBE teachers in Borno to receive such training from PCNI with the purpose of exposing participants to various skills in teaching subjects so that the pupils will get the best out of them. Vice Chairman PCNI Tijani Tumsa, while declaring the training open, said teachers are essential components of development of any nation, hence the need to step up action by strengthening their capacities in both science and technology, as well as trauma management to stabilize the pupils for enhanced learning.
Nigeria is advancing in all facets under the dynamic leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, and as a region, we can only participate when we have the requisite human resources and skills.
Vice Chancellor, University of Maiduguri, represented by Professor Buba Michelius, says 1,200 UBE teachers are benefiting from the training and lauded efforts of PCNI for all the support, especially in the area of revamping the education sector. Executive Chairman, Borno State Universal Basic Education Board, described the workshop as timely, saying the state lost over 600 teachers with 512 primary schools completely destroyed by the insurgents. The Provost, Mohammed Gwani College of Legal and Islamic Studies, Dr. Shetimo Bukar, said all facilities are overstretched in the institution hosting IDPs and appealed to the state government to renovate and re-equip the institution in order for a conducive teaching and learning atmosphere. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
About 400 internally displaced households in Ano district of Konduga local government area of Borno State have been provided with livelihood support and cash donation as a means of empowerment by the Victims Support Fund. Amina Fidi Ahmadu reports.
In continuation of its 2018 agro-support project in the Northeast, the VSF is targeting 4,000 affected households in Borno, Adamawa and Yobe states, where they will be given livestock aid at ensuring food security and livelihood support. Executive Director of Victim Support Fund, Professor Sunday Ochoche, says VSF has been assisting victims of insurgency in the areas of education, health and infrastructure, and now saw the need to assist in livelihood support in two critical areas of women economic empowerment and agro-support component with sub-components.
We are talking well in excess of over 100 million that we are supporting for the, for the 1,000 because of the veterinary support that we have to provide, the extension services that we have to provide to these families, the cash support that we have to provide to these families, the procurement of these animals, it all adds up significant amount of money.
Vice Chairman PCNI Tijani Tumsa urged the beneficiaries to use the support received to fend for their families and warn against roaming the streets begging. Representative of the Borno State Governor Bukar Kolo said if donor agencies are up and doing like the Victim Support Fund, Borno will bounce back to its lost glory. 400 households from Auno, 300 each from Yobe and Adamawa states are expected to receive 3 female goats and 1 male, while 20,000 naira cash will be given in addition to purchase initial feeding for the livestock and support their families in the interim. In Maiduguri, Amina Fidi Ahmadu, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Maiduguri. Nationwide continues with Fatima in Abuja. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Naomi. A major petroleum product pipeline said to be dormant for about 16 years is fingered to be the cause of the fire that engulfed some neighboring communities. The question the Senate Joint Committee on a fact-finding visit to the affected areas is asking is how could a pipeline that carries no product cause fire? National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
It is completely a new angle to the public understanding on the alleged petroleum fire that claimed many lives in Abia State. The two affected towns are Umaimo and Opokorwala in Osisioma local government area of the state.
The problem people should go home is how come in product into that line.
Why did you allow NNPC to be surcharging you if you are not part of this syndicate?
So the products have been moving on this line. Where is it going to? What is it meant for? Yes.
This discovery by the Senate Joint Committee on Petroleum Downstream and Police shows that there is actually no dormant pipe among the two lines from Port Harcourt refinery to Enugu, as it is made public. The senators proceeded to the Nigerian Pipeline and Storage Company, NPSC, for further clarification.
It was last used sometime December 2006. That was the last time it was used. But there is product on that line. And whenever there is vandalism on the line, there will be product coming out.
You didn't go there to explain for one day, but you are here telling us to believe you that was vandalized.
What baffles the committee most is the fact that this leakage happens on the dormant line.
Abia State Governor Okeze Victor Ipezu advised the committee to consider all problems enumerated by the communities, and the committee chairman, Senator Kabir Marafa, said investigation continues on the submissions. Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
And the Minister of State and Mining and Steel Development, Abubakar Buhari, has disclosed that the economic diversification drive of the federal government is gaining momentum, with the mining industry recording tremendous success. This was in a message at the stakeholders conference conducted in Kefi to passion out more refined methods of mining in the country. Blessing Fulani has the details.
This year's 18th Annual General Meeting and International Conference of Nigerian Society of Mining Engineers, NSME, is aimed at brainstorming and strengthening mechanisms towards revitalizing and utilizing natural resources in the country for economic prosperity. Minister of State for Mines and Steel Abubakar Buhari, in a message, enumerated some achievements recorded by the present administration in the mining industry, calls for collaborative efforts of all relevant stakeholders in the mining sector towards exploring and harnessing the nation's mineral resources.
The Ministry of Mines is striving to generate data, because that is what investors require to point the way for them to come into the country to invest.
Mining is an occupation that mostly takes place in isolated location. So what is mostly needed for mining to thrive is peace. So what we are doing on our part is to ensure that there's peace in the state.
Government is formalizing the sector, and what we are trying to do is to encourage investors to come in, and by the time the investors come in, the artisanal miners will be encouraged.
The theme for this year's conference is Harnessing Mineral Wealth for National Sustainable Development and Diversification. From Kefi, Blessing Fulani, NTA News.
And for the framework of selling public assets to be totally corrupt-free to ensure public confidence in the privatization process, the Bureau of Public Enterprises has organized anti-corruption seminar for its staff to promote international best practices. Aliu Tukur reports.
Privatization is a key tool for economic growth. Nigeria over the years has reformed more than 100 public enterprises across various sectors of the economy, and this, according to relevant authorities, has positive benefits. But there are concerns from the public and labor unions on the process through which these public enterprises are privatized. To address this trust issue and given the anti-corruption drive of this present administration, the Bureau of Public Enterprises has organized an anti-corruption training for its staff so as to expose them to capacity orientation programs to ensure transparency in privatizing public assets by selling them to credible investors.
And we're also trying to emphasize the sale of the assets through public offer. So we take them to the stock market, and through that process, every retail market woman, civil servant can at least buy a portion of these assets.
For this training, it was general. It was more on making certain that they identify those risks. So the focus was identifying the risks to the BPE and the important work that it undertakes.
The training was facilitated by independent consulting firm that specializes in training programs to shield organizations and people from crimes such as money laundering, terrorist financing, corruption and bribery. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
Many thanks, Aliu. Another institution has been added to the Nigerian university system. It is the Nigerian Army University, Borno State. Minister of Education Adamu, who represented the president, performed the foundation laying ceremony with 75% admission to civilians and 25% military and paramilitary, is expected to contribute to the national economy and address security challenges.
As a government, we believe that it is by harnessing the full potential of education, especially at the high level, that Nigeria will be able to overcome her multiple challenges, from insecurity and corruption to the challenges of daily living. It is in this respect that the federal government, under my leadership, hit the ground running since the early months of our inauguration to improve the standard and increase access through various interventions activities in the education sector.
The siting of this very unique university here in Borno State
will greatly enhance science and technology and innovation, which is a veritable tool for development and thereby promoting employment, peace and stability in the region as a whole. The leadership of the Nigerian Army conceptualized and articulated ideas which led to the establishment of the Nigerian Army University Bill. National armies of the 21st century are ICT compliant, technology-based, and science-prone establishments. The Nigerian Army need not be left out in this regard.
The mode of admission is in affiliation with the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAM, for proper monitoring and processing. The university, which has 5,000 hectares of land, is being supported by the Borno state government to catapult Nigeria into a knowledge-driven economy. Highlights of the event was the presentation of award to President Muhammadu Buhari to commemorate the occasion and for his support. And now teachers in Oyo State honored by state government. Let's get details of this with Fatai in our Ibadan Network Center. Fatai, it's over to you.
Thank you, Fatima, and welcome to Ibadan, Africa's cradle of television. The ongoing reconstruction work on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway has received a boost as the Minister of Work, Power and Housing, Babatude Raji Fashola, assures Nigerians of rapid completion of the project. It said this during an inspection of the project. Adebola Ogunlano has the report.
The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is regarded as one of the most crucial road networks in Nigeria. To the Buhari administration, this road is one of its major areas of focus with commendable attention. Recently, the Minister of Works, Babatunde Fashola, while inspecting the ongoing reconstruction work, noted that the work would have been quicker if the road could be completely shut down.
What we're building now is 3 lanes instead of the 2 lanes you had before. We're also adding drains, new interchanges to allow people get off and get across in an efficient way, overpass and underpass. So as the main highway is being finished, that's the work that will continue.
He, however, urged members of the public to be careful while driving on the road and also assures on quick completion of the projects in Ibadan. Adebola Ogunlano, NTA News.
Away from infrastructure, 2 teachers from Ogun State who bagged President's Teachers and School Awards for 2018 have been rewarded. Correspondent Lekon Agbonde reports that Ogun State Governor Ibikule Amusun also gave them cash rewards.
Femi Patrick Adaramola is a 45-year-old agricultural science teacher at the Comprehensive High School at Yeturu, who emerged the overall national best teacher, and Nusrat Fakorede, a principal at Shagamu High School. She was 6th best overall in administrators category in the just concluded President's Teachers and School Awards 2018.
The enabling environment that have been created by the state and the school has lifted me up this far.
Wherever you find yourself as an administrator, you need to work very hard. You need to be dedicated.
Governor Ibikule Amusun reaffirmed government's commitment to continually motivate and encourage citizens to excel as they work harder to take the state to greater heights.
Work more so that it will set here or wherever there are business like this, people to know that not just feel that truly deserve this.
Patrick Daramola is now a proud owner of a brand new car, while Nusirat Fakorede also went home with a number of items, courtesy the organizers of the award. Ogun State government also rewarded the 2 teaching ambassadors. Patrick Adaramola received a sum of 1 million naira, while Nusirat got a sum of 500,000 naira. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
In another development, media experts have been charged to be factual, balanced, and ethically guided in their reportage. This forms the basis of discussion at a media forum organized by Center for Applied Ethics in Political Communication in Africa for Media Practitioners in Southwest Nigeria, held in Ibadan, Oyo State capital. Kayode Oladoshu completes the story.
Electoral information has been identified as a major responsibility of the media in the electoral process. However, they must remain neutral and objective in order to properly educate the electorate. Media coverage before, during, and after elections should be unbiased and non-partisan for the voters to make their choice during election.
The umbrella body should also stem the tide of the activities of quacks.
Stakeholders at the event urged political players to allow the media discharge their duties without interference, in line with the principle of objectivity and balance.
It must be socially responsible to the audience, no matter which organization you belong to.
You cannot really separate media from politics. It's very important. There are two agents that are important to making sure that society develops and gets informed.
The forum is to sensitize voters and media practitioners on electoral education ahead of 2019 general election in Ibadan. Kayode Oladoshu, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Ibadan. Enugu is our next port of call, where Chinyere is standing by.
Thank you, Fatai, and welcome to Enugu Network Center. Ways to stem the tide of illegal adoption through due process took the center stage at a two-day workshop holding in Enugu State. Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi at the workshop emphasized the need for all children to have equal rights to love, care, and education. Ijoma Ugoke reports.
Declaring the workshop open, Governor Ugwuanyi, represented by the deputy, Mrs. Cecilia Ezilo, said he is leaving no stone unturned in ensuring that every child born in the state has a home to secure his passage of child right bill in the state.
Among many measures taken by state governments in this regard are the prompt constitution of the Committee on Child Fostering and Adoption, the enactment of the Child Rights Care in 2016, as well as the establishment of 12 family courts.
Enugu State Chief Judge Justice Priscilla Emehelu, who was represented at the occasion, and Commissioner for Gender Affairs and Social Development, Princess Peace Nnaji, described adoption as a permanent placement of a child into a fit and proper home through the court of law.
This workshop is not only necessary but imperative, especially in educating the stakeholders and the general public to know and follow the process when adopting a child.
The State Chairman Committee for Adoption and Fostering, Archbishop Emmanuel Chukwuma, expressed the readiness of the committee to deal with any illegal baby homes, hospitals, and all baby factories within and around the state.
We are out to make sure that there is a proper way of adopting babies in this state, and the process must be taken.
A renowned clinical psychologist, Professor Peter Ebibo, an insightful paper on process of adoption and fostering in Enugu. Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
Medical experts have suggested visual and breast self-examinations as keys to early detection of cancer and survival in women. Kelechi Oshiara takes a look at the recent increase in breast cancer and the way forward.
The Cancer Awareness Campaign is held in various countries across the world every October to help increase attention and support for the awareness, early detection and treatment, as well as palliative care for the disease. This annual campaign involves thousands of organizations to highlight the dangers of the disease and raise funds for research into its cause, prevention, diagnosis, and cure. Experts advocate that knowing the signs and symptoms of breast cancer serve as possible ways of detecting and treating the disease. According to them, women who regularly practice breast self-examination will become familiar with the specific texture of their breasts to enable them discover the cancer at a less advanced stage.
To teach every woman to know exactly where to examine herself.
The adoption of such as smoking, poor diet, physical inactivity, obesity, and forward childbirth, experts say, have contributed significantly to the major cancer disease of the cervix, prostate, and breast.
Nigeria has the worst mortality statistics, where 4 out of 5 persons diagnosed with cancer would die. Their health-seeking behavior needs much to be looked into. They need to go for medical checkup. And we do have screening methods where the woman can screen herself on a monthly basis.
As the world marks Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it is the consensus of the medical experts that a routine screening be carried out regularly, preferably after menstrual cycle, to eradicate the breast cancer scourge in the country. In Enugu, Kelechi Ochiara, NTA News.
The new Air Officer commanding Ground Training Command, Enugu, Air Vice Marshal Idi Amin, has advised personnel of the Nigerian Air Force to always exhibit professionalism in the conduct of their duties. Eva Aneke reports that Air Vice Marshal Idi Amin gave the advice during the handover ceremony in Enugu.
The new Commanding Ground Training Command, Air Vice Marshal Idi Amin, after taking over the mantle of leadership, charged men of the Nigerian Air Force to be selfless and conduct themselves in a manner worthy of emulation by not taking sides when some security challenges come their way. He therefore encouraged them to remain loyal to the Constitution.
As staff officers, move up to your responsibility. And staffing is not about an individual work. All of us who are here working towards a collective one goal.
Earlier in his remark, the outgoing air officer, Air Vice Marshal Ismail Keita, enjoined officers and men of the command to extend their hand of fellowship and cooperate with the new air officer commanding for effective discharge of their duties. Air Vice Marshal Keita has been redeployed to the Nigerian Defense Academy as the Deputy Commandant. In Enugu, Eva Aneke, NTA News.
That's it from Enugu. Nationwide continues after these timeouts.
NTA Television College, Jos, an affiliate of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, is organizing a 2-week course in archival management system of broadcast media. Date 5th to 16th November 2018. Venue NTA Television College, Rayfield, Jos. Course fee 100,000 naira per participant, accommodation inclusive. The course will equip participants with the techniques of automating recordings, cataloging, and analyzing media for storage and productions. Come and take advantage of this course to sharpen your skills in maintaining, conserving, and utilizing the archival system. For more information, please contact us on the following numbers: 0806 980 9807, 0803 314 4383. TV College Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
Yeah, Modena. Mode. Do you have Yamala? Yes. And Abula? Yes, sir. Black or white? Yamala. Have I ever eaten white Amala here before? Yes, sir. Give me Amala and Abula. Do you have dodo? Dodo ground. Good. Let me have some dodo. I want you to put the meat in a bowl. Shaki, suku, abodi. I like my edo to be very tender. You have stockfish? Yes, sir. Good. Let's have some stockfish. And the catfish, my favorite. Don't mind them. You have eggs. I would like 6 boiled eggs. No eggs. Okay, the catfish will do. And then rice. Rice and then some salad. Do you have a kuru?
Good to have